Got another story here from BoundIntoComics.com. Report the Walt Disney Company and Marvel Studios to educate actors in order to placate communist China. This isn't a surprise to anybody who's paying attention. It did recently come out that Black Panther 2 and Ant-Man 3 are going to have releases in China, which is surprising because it's been a couple years since that's happened. And then what they talk about here is basically that they've got to be very careful how they word things because that's the only way they're going to get a release in China, basically. As it says here, this report comes after blah blah blah, Black Panther 2, Ant-Man 3 have secured theatrical releases in China. The last approved theatrical releases from the studio were Spider-Man Far From Home and Avengers Endgame way back in early to mid 2019. It's from the Hollywood Reporter. YouTuber Yellow Flash commented on this report from the Hollywood Reporter indicating Disney and Marvel stars will be educated to not offend communist China. What a loser move this is, he says. Then he goes on and talks about how they're bending the knee to a country that doesn't really like us. Disney's always willing to step back. I would rather these companies not do this and not bend the knee to this country. Which I believe most people would agree with that. It's fucking ridiculous. Then he goes on and it talks about he's got more quotes, but then it mentions what happened with John Cena with the whole when he was they were doing promotion for the Fast and the Furious 9. He stated that Taiwan would be the first country to watch the film. We got in major trouble for that and had to issue a groveling apology in Mandarin on Weibo for claiming Taiwan was a country. It basically I'll link this in the description box. Actually hear it for yourself if you want, but there's a translation here. Oops, went a little too far. It said, "Hi China, I'm John Cena. I'm in the middle of a Fast and Furious 9 promotions. I'm doing a lot of interviews. I made a mistake in one of my interviews. Everyone was asking me if I could use Chinese. Staff gave me a lot of information, so there were a lot of interviews and information. I made one mistake. I have to say something very, very, very important now. I love and respect China and Chinese people. I'm very, very sorry about my mistake." He continued profusely apologizing. I apologize. I'm very sorry. You must understand that I really love, really respect China and the Chinese people. My apologies. See ya. It's like, that's basically the kind of stuff that they're doing just behind the scenes, making sure that their actors don't say anything super offensive, like, oh, Taiwan's a country. Now I understand not coming out and like insulting the country. You don't want to come out and be like, China's a shithole. Or something like that. I get that. I understand. Hell, you don't want to sit there and say, well, the United States is a shithole, or places in Great Britain or Japan or whatever. I get it. You don't want to be insulting to these countries, but at the same time, saying something like, Taiwan is a country. I support Taiwan. How is that like super offensive to China? That's fucking ridiculous. That's the kind of stuff that they're going to do, and of course Disney's doing it because they want to get that money. Although I will be very interested to see how much money. Well, Black Panther 2, I don't know in China. It might make decent money, but the movie's already been out. Now, the Ant-Man 3, it will come out at the same time as the worldwide release, basically. I forget the exact date for that, but it'll be a worldwide simultaneous release. So I would think that would make more money, but at the same time, we'll see, because it's Ant-Man. It's like Paul Rudd is super cool and stuff, but I'm not sure if it's quite as like appealing. But we'll see. We'll see. I'll be very interested to see that. Like I said, I'll link this in the description box. You can read it for yourself, or check the like I said, the pandering from Cena and all that stuff. This is the kind of thing that is not surprising to anybody who's paying attention because Disney wants that money. They're desperate to get as much money as they can because their Marvel movies aren't making as much as they used to. So no surprise. Still disappointing though, but we'll see. Thank you very much for watching and have a good one.